Welcome everyone. We're live again on the Northern Affinity social media channels. Delighted today we are with Tracey and Ian from In Business. I'm sure many people have been impacted over the last few months with their business and had to pivot and change. But I think anybody in the kind of face-to-face business networking and training world has definitely had to do that. So we're going to hear from Tracey and Ian a little bit about how they've done things. If you do have any questions or comments, the comments pages are open on the various sites, so please feel free to put them in there. If you are watching this back and it's not live, again, put the comments in and I'll make sure Ian and Tracey can get that, and I'm sure they'll be happy to respond. So yes, without I won't steal any thunders, and I'll pass it over to Tracey and Ian if you want to kind of introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about In Business.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mike. Well, I'm Tracey from In Business. We are a business support group with networking thrown in as well.
Yeah, so I suppose hence our strapline is connect, learn and grow. So we help businesses to connect by meeting lots of other good people, learn new skills through our educational sessions and workshops, and hopefully grow the business. But not only grow the business, help develop themselves personally as well in various things. So yeah. That's our main aim in life, isn't it? Really, yeah. We like to help people. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, like I said in my introduction, obviously there's been a lot of changes for a lot of people over the last few months. Kind of, what's your experiences have been, and what have you done to kind of keep everything going?
Yeah.
Well, we took our meetings online. We did that pretty quickly, really. I think the announcement was made on the Monday evening and we had a meeting on the Tuesday, so we went straight away into Zoom. It was all a bit rushed, but we did it. But we've tweaked it as we've gone along, and we
found it was a bit daunting at first, I think, because we thought, because when you're used to meeting people face to face and the norm of how everything was, and all of a sudden Boris comes on and says, well, tomorrow we're all in lockdown. We've got a meeting arranged. Think, oh my goodness me! So it was a big panic, wasn't it? Emailing people and saying, look, we're gonna try Zoom. We never used Zoom before. We're gonna try Zoom. So I think the first couple probably were a bit iffy, a bit felt a bit strange. But to be fair, I think we're getting used to it now, aren't we? I mean,
we're not so bad now.
No, we're all right now. Yeah, we can actually get through them without me making too much of a blunder.
That's always a bonus. So how do you think they get the members of the group then? How do you think they've adapted to kind of online networking and how it's changed?
They're still keeping in contact with each other, which is nice because we can still see there's collaborations going on. They're a really good group of people who have formed this little community, and they are sticking together, aren't they? They're
it's working well. I think everyone is adapting really well. I think initially, from people hardly knowing about Zoom or very rarely using Zoom, to suddenly every person that we know is on Zoom, every Zoom and everything. Then I think people have adapted quite well, haven't they? It's people are getting into it. People aren't as embarrassed anymore. And it's good. We've found it enjoyable, haven't we? We've quite enjoyed the change. It's been a bit testing at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's all right, isn't it? It's all right, yeah. And at least you get to keep the people together who we started off with in the first place. So it's been useful that way. We didn't want to lose people, did we? That's the thing. We thought, what's going to happen now? So it's helped us to keep people together, which is good.
Yeah, and I think obviously the technology has allowed us to do that, hasn't it? That if this had been maybe 10 years ago, it kind of would have been total shutdown, wouldn't it? And we wouldn't have been able to do what we're doing today. So I guess obviously you I know you've been doing the meetings on a weekly basis and probably done maybe a dozen or so now online. What tips and advice do you have for people maybe, and what you've seen when it's worked well, and how to network online maybe as a comparison to face-to-face?
I think the meetings, we've had to reduce the length of time because people's attention span just isn't like it is in a normal face-to-face meeting. So we've reduced the time down. I think probably a good idea to keep your mic muted so that you don't get lots of background noise and stuff.
Yeah, I think as well lighting's important as well. Some people seem to decide they want to sit in shadow as they're trying to, be a police informant or something, and so they have the light. They sit with a window behind them or something, and then you can't really see. Instead of having the light in front, which makes it easier, then they have the light behind them, and then it looks like someone's in permanent shadow sometimes. So it's just little things like that to be aware of, I think, isn't it? It's it's like, say, muting your mic, making sure the lighting's right, and not forgetting that you are on show all the time, and you forget. And if you start, I don't know,
polishing your desk.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. We've had an incident where we had one lady, bless her. She, I nearly laughed out loud. Actually, it's very difficult sometimes because you can see she caught my eye. I don't know if anybody else spotted, but she must have decided she spotted a few crumbs or bits on the desk, and suddenly started to wipe the desk down and move around, thinking, "Oh my goodness!" She obviously completely forgot. Everyone else could see what she was doing, but it's a distraction. So it's important you are aware that you are on, you are being watched, basically, unless you turn your camera off, I suppose, but that defeats the object. But it's little things like that you have to be aware of a lot more. And I think, it's just, it's different, isn't it? It's different. You're on show and you forget the distracting things you do when you're in a group of people that nobody notices. You've got, 30 odd people looking at you, spotting that you're sticking your finger in your ear or whatever, or, you know what I mean? So you've got to be a bit careful, I think, yeah.
How have you found the interaction on the calls? Because obviously, I think smaller numbers, us talking to each other now, it's fairly easy to interact relatively normally. But if you've got 20 or 30 people, like I know you've been having, how have you kind of managed to keep that smaller interaction, I guess, going?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we do the breakout groups, so people do get a chance to talk to each other individually and as a small group. So it kind of manages that. Not everybody's trying to speak all at the same time. So it works well, yeah. We manage it. It's not always easy if somebody starts to talk when somebody else is starting to talk. But we generally get there, don't we?
Yeah, I think the thing that I think how we work it now, which is obviously we've learned over time by doing it, is you've got to keep people interested. Is that the right word? Or involved?
Engaged.
And that's engaged. That's a good word. Yeah, engaged. And that's why we sort of have the breakout rooms, and we have some the one-to-one. So it's not all the same thing. It's not people just doing a 60 seconds and then moving on to another 60 seconds. Then it's a bit more involved than that. It's a bit more interactive. It's interactive, isn't it? Yeah, and I think it makes it a bit more interesting for people as well.
Yeah.
So that's how we've adapted it, I think, isn't it? We're trying to make it interesting, keep people engaged.
Absolutely. So obviously, kind of moving forward, and we don't quite know what the timelines on this are, but how do you see kind of business, both networking and training? How do you kind of envisage it will change over the coming months and years, actually, compared to maybe what it was before?
Yeah, good question.
I mean, we've decided that we're going to keep online for the next few months because
for us for now, yeah.
Even if we said we're going back to face in a month's time, it's how many people have got the confidence to actually be in a room with a group of people. So,
and then if you have to social distance as well, and everybody's to sit like 2 meters apart or 1 meter, whatever, you're not going to get that many people in a room, or you're going to need a huge room to sit everybody in. And it's not going to have a right feel, is it? I don't think so. I think for some time, I think most people will be an online experience, and then gradually, unless they discover a vaccine next week, then gradually, I think people will get back to it. I think hopefully, but I personally, I like meeting people. I like the actual interaction of shaking someone's hand and having a chat and the tea by the kettle or whatever and things like that. But this works well. It works far better than I thought. I think,
it's working for the time.
Yeah, Zoom does work well. I think if you'd have said to me last year, I mean, we didn't think about it last year, didn't we, Zoom? And then we thought, nah, nobody's going to bother. Nobody knows what Zoom is, how it works. And I think that's what would have happened. I think nobody would have bothered because nobody knew about it. But now, of course, everybody loves Zoom. Everybody's Zooming all the day long, aren't they? And things like that, So it's different now. It's different technology.
I do think a lot of people were very hesitant to be on videos. But forget about networking, just generally, kind of until all this started, and it's kind of thrust us all into needs must and all that kind of thing. So potentially we're going to get maybe more of a hybrid world, I guess, as we move forward, and there'll be a mixture of people, because people will be desperate to get out face to face again at some point, whenever that may be. So kind of moving on to a bit more normality, I guess. In terms of networking, I know, Ian, for you, it's something you've done for many, many years. But for a lot of people, can be quite hesitant, can be quite worried about networking. I mean, why do you think that is?
I think a lot of people. I think as soon as you stick the word networking in front of something, networking, people panic. At the end of the day, it's a conversation, and I would imagine most people have held conversations all of their lives. But as soon as you say networking, that's it. They worry about things like they might have nothing to say. People might not want to listen to them. They might, it might be. There's all sorts of things, isn't there? Yeah, they might feel intimidated, not confident. There's a whole raft of things, of fears that people have about networking. But example myself. I mean, it was about 15 years ago. I think I was introduced to it the first time, and it was BNI, which is obviously that was the main one at that point, probably still is. And then if I hadn't paid my £10 because I'm tight, when I walked into the room, I would have turned around and come away, because all I saw, I'd never done it before, was a large bunch of people who all seemed to be engaged and talking, and suddenly there was me, total stranger, walking in, and I thought, oh my goodness, what am I doing here? This is not for me. And it was just panic. It was just, it was just a general fear. But luckily, there were a nice bunch of people, and they welcoming and everything else, and it made it easy. And I think that's what it's all about. I think it's a fear, isn't it? People have it can be nerve-wracking. It can be, it can be very nerve-wracking, I think. I mean, what did you think the first time you started with the whole networking thing? Because really, it's quite new to you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Similar thing. If I think you might have even taken me along, and because I was in your car, I couldn't get myself home. Otherwise, I'd have probably been out there too. But you've developed a course, haven't you? So.
Oh yeah, I mean, what I'm putting together is a networking know-how course for people who are scared of networking. So it goes from the beginning, right from having some sort of bit of a strategy, and then being prepared before the meeting, then what you should do during the meeting, and then after meeting, following up. So it's like a little mini series of things you should be doing, to hopefully give you the confidence to network. Because I think it's just about having a few tips and tricks and ideas, and just being prepared sometimes. Yeah.
Do you think for some people it's kind of, because as you know, there's many different types of networking groups, and there's no right or wrong way. There's just lots and lots of different ways.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Do you think maybe people have a preconceived idea of what it is, and it might not suit them, but that doesn't mean there's not other types that would suit them, and they've probably tried it once and then that's it, scared off for life, and never come back. I mean, that's an experience I've spoken to a lot of people, and that seems to be quite a running theme.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we had a conversation with them. No.
Yeah, we've had several conversations recently that people are actually, as part of their marketing strategy, they're using different types of networking groups, because some are just referral organisations, ours is support and education, and they're using a mixture. But yeah, I think, from the preconceived idea, I think probably people are afraid. Like you said, they think, oh, they've been once and don't like it. It does put them off. But yeah, I think it needs to.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think know there's other stuff out there. Really,
people are using different, especially now, I think, as well, because it's easier with Zoom. They're zooming around all over, they're not having to drive anywhere and attend these meetings, so they can try a referral type one, they can try one like ours, they can try others that are similar or whatever. And there's plenty out there. People, they are, and it's great, really, because it means everybody gets a chance to try and have a go at something, and yet they're expanding the networks at the same time. So I think it's a good thing. I think it works. I think it works well.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've had a couple of comments in. One from, I know there's one of your members, Joanne, relating to online networking, and she mentioned it does work really well. I'm sure that's the experience generally of a lot of people as well. So that's good to hear. Another comment, actually, for some reason it's not pulled through who it is, so apologies for that. But it does say that your kind of idea of doing a course is a great idea, and I wish it'd been something they could have done when they started in business. So that's good to hear.
Good. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of kind of, we've mentioned the different types of networking and events and meetings. So how do you guys try and do things maybe not so much differently, but what's kind of your way, and how do you think it works for you and your members?
Ours is we like to think ours as a bit of a community, really, don't we? That it's really grown into it's a really nice it's got a really nice feel to it. The people all support each other, all help each other. And when we do our meetings, we have a mixture of things like one-to-ones, and we have the breakout group, and we have the education, and it all helps, I think, to, like I say, keep people engaged, and it keeps people, they find it useful. If they can leave our meeting with one nugget of information that might help them in their business to, I don't know, do something different that leads to X £1,000 or an idea that might give them, then that's great. I mean, we've had lots of examples. We've had people in the group collaborate. We've had people.
It's a family.
Yeah. We've had people in the group who formed some great collaborations that would never have happened if they'd not, been with us and not joined together, and which is really good. Really good.
We're not a referral organisation, but we believe that referrals happen once those relationships are developed, and if we can develop those relationships better, then the business is just going to happen. We've had loads of examples of that. Haven't we?
We speak to somebody yesterday who said they thought it was great, that even though we don't go out and say there's a referral or whatever. She had an example of where several people in the group had recommended or referred her to another person, and she's got some business out of it on Monday or early next week. So it's the power of having a conversation, and it's about relationships. It's not always a quick win. It's not always a quick, I've got a referral for Bob here and it's worth £4.10. That's fine. It does work. I was in it a long time, so I know things like that do work. But it's about building up something a bit stronger, I think, sometimes as well. I like what we've got, and I think a lot of our members do as well, which is nice.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good point, actually. I think the kind of long-term element of it, because I think too many people maybe tried one or two times and gone and their idea and their eyes, they haven't got anything out of it yet. Whereas that's not what it's about, as you know, isn't it? It's that longer-term approach that if you take the right time to build those relationships, the other stuff comes with it. It's not a quick fix. It's not an advert on a social media channel that can get some quick business. And that is not what business networking is. And obviously, you mentioned there that your members seem to enjoy. Obviously, Joanne's made another comment as well, so that's good. And also one from Stuart as well, which is great. So it seems like your members are backing that up anyway, so that's good.
Cool, thanks, guys. And of course, we also have a Muppet, Mike, as well.
Oh yeah, the
Muppet. Of course, he's taking all the suitable precautions because it's been between the two of us. But I think this helps as well. You didn't expect him, did you, Mike?
I didn't expect the Muppet. No.
We thought not.
It's good job your lighting's okay, so I won't be able to tell the difference.
I know, yeah. We are like two peas in a pod, aren't we?
So I expect the Muppet on the next one. So just do it with the Muppet, actually. So when your guys kind of, what's your agenda itinerary at the moment in terms of your meetings? How often they're happening, and what's the rough format?
We're still keeping with the weekly meetings on a Tuesday morning. Format is,
well, the format tends to be, we tend to have the actual format of the meeting is we have like an opening bit with the introduction where people get a chance to, it's something like 30 seconds or so, just say who they are, what they do, and then we go into we have one-to-ones where we break them out and get into breakouts where they have one-to-ones, and then we have an education session, and then following the education session we then have a discussion, and then put people in breakout groups again, and then another one-to-one, and then we just sort of finish with any information that we might want to share amongst the rest of the group and things like that. So we try and keep it to about an hour and 15 minutes. Sometimes we overrun a bit, because the thing is with Zoom, people keep sort of like coming in, not exactly the right time always, and you're welcoming everybody, and that can take more time than you think, saying hello Bob, hello Fred, and everybody's coming in. So sometimes it overruns a bit, but usually it's pretty good. We only like 5 minutes over sometimes, but it's okay. Yeah. So we try and educate people as well, don't we? Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have a nice comment from Tessa as well. So it's been a great way of people keeping in touch during lockdown. Yeah. So lots of nice comments, which is good. So just finally from me then, if anyone wants to either kind of come along to one of your meetings, come in, or just find out a bit more about In Business, where are the best places to look and find you?
Well, we've got our website, which is www.weareinbusiness.co.uk, and that's got all the the Eventbrite events listed on there. Don't look at the rest of the website at the minute because it is being revamped.
Yeah.
But that's, when you go onto the meetings page, that's where it is. You can find us on LinkedIn. We're all over LinkedIn like a rash with our events.
Facebook as well.
Facebook,
yeah. Facebook as well.
Facebook.
And generally word of mouth as well. I think hopefully people will recommend us. Hopefully. Yeah, because
there you go.
We're quite a nice bunch, really. We're pretty easygoing, nice and relaxed. Yeah. Sorry, Mike.
There you go. There's one on screen anyway. That'll nice from Steph to say that as well.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you.
Yeah. So no, thank you very much. Like, if for whatever reason anyone can't find Tracey or Ian's details, and we've got all the details as well at Northern Affinity. So look on our website or just contact us directly, and we'll pass that on. So thank you to all three of you.
It's a pleasure, Mike. As always.
Next time we won't have Ian. We'll just have
anyway.
And thank you for everyone for watching, and thanks for coming on, Ian and Tracey.
Okay,
Take care. Thanks, Mike.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.